Hey everyone, Teo here. This is my artist review of the Samsung S Pen Creator Edition. So I bought this with my own money. The price is US $99. This is how the packaging looks. It says here that this is compatible with Galaxy S Ultra, Note, tablet and PCs that support S Pen. That's the replacement pen tips and nib remover. And this is the Samsung S Pen Creator Edition. Two replacement pen tips are included, and this nib remover is made with rubber or silicone, and as you can see, it's not going to pull the pen tip out. Even with a nib remover, it's not easy to pull the pen tip out. Okay, it's easy now because I have pulled this out several times. The S Pen Creator Edition is slightly longer and thicker compared to the S Pen that comes with the Tab S7, S8 and S9. The length is around 15.3 centimeters. The pen weighs 10.6 grams and is considered lightweight. The surface is matte textured and there is slightly more texture compared to the usual S Pens. This pen has IPX4 water resistance. There is one side button which may be customizable depending on the app you use, and the clicking feedback is firm. The thicker diameter does make this pen quite comfortable to hold. The diameter from the top to this flat side is 8.7 mm and the widest diameter is 9.1 mm. There's a flat side on the pen that allows it to attach magnetically to the Tab S7, S8 and S9 tablets, and the magnets are quite strong. This pen can attach to the back of the tablet. However, if you're using a case, this is not going to close because the pen is too long for this part here. Depending on the case you are using, you may be able to remove this part. So now you can close the flap and you can attach the pen this way. The back of the pen will touch the edge of the cutout here. This pen does not have a battery, so it does not have any Bluetooth features. And because there is no battery, you don't need to charge this pen, and the pen does not need battery for writing and for drawing. The S Pen Creator Edition has a 0.9 mm pen tip, which is noticeably bigger compared to the fine point pen tip, and this is made with plastic, whereas the original S Pen tip is rubberized at the point. And this design allows the pen to tilt lower so that you can use tilt brushes more easily. Because this is using the plastic pen tip, you will get that plastic feeling when writing and drawing on glass. Now compare that with the rubberized pen tip. Can you hear the difference? This plastic pen tip will glide more smoothly on glass compared to the rubberized pen tip, which has more resistance, and I do prefer using this for drawing over a plastic pen tip. If you use a matte screen protector with this plastic tip, you will get that nice tactile drawing experience. Latency performance is excellent. I can barely see any gap between the line and the pen tip. However, latency performance will really depend on the app you use, and this app that I'm using is Samsung Notes, and this tablet has 120 Hz refresh rate. And here I have a tablet with 90 Hz refresh rate, and latency performance is excellent as well. This app is Mediabank Paint Pro, which usually has below average latency performance. So here I can see the line trying to catch up with the pen tip. The pen does support low latency, but latency performance will still depend on the app you use. This pen uses Wacom EMR technology, so it supports 4096 levels of pressure sensitivity. It supports palm rejection, and it's said to have enhanced tilt sensitivity due to the new design. And now let's test the pressure sensitivity of the pen. So I'm going to draw thin lines. I am barely applying any pressure, and I can draw the thin lines quite easily. And the lines are quite straight. Any wobble and jitter that you see is due to my hand. Let me switch over to the S Pen with the soft tip. Okay, this pen is also, as you can see, very sensitive. I do not see any difference in terms of pressure sensitivity. However, different S pens, even with the same tip, can have different performance. So this is also a soft tip. Notice the line is thicker. So there is some variance with performance depending on which pen you use. And this is also the original S Pen, except with a plastic tip. Okay, you can see the line is thicker as well. This pen is said to have enhanced tilt sensitivity, so let's test that out. This brush is the dry inker brush from the app Infinite Painter. We have thin lines, thick lines with pressure, and broad strokes with tilt. Thin, thick, and broad. Let me switch over to the S Pen with the soft tip. Thin, thick, and broad. Thin, thick, and broad. So I don't see any difference between the line quality for the Creator Edition versus the soft pen tip. The difference with tilt comes down to how low you can tilt the pen. So with the Creator Edition, you can tilt the pen rather low at this angle. With the standard S Pen, notice as I tilt at the same angle, I can barely draw anything. The difference is with the standard S Pen, when you tilt it too low, the plastic part behind the pen tip is in contact with the glass. It's not the pen tip that is in contact with the glass. That is why you can't draw anything. However, with the Creator Edition, the part that is behind the pen tip is further back. And if you tilt it low like this, the pen tip is still in contact with the glass. That's why you can still draw. I guess with the Creator Edition, when you can tilt the pen this low, it makes it feel like you are shading with a wooden pencil. However, with the standard S Pen, when you tilt it this low, the pen tip is not in contact with the glass, so you can't draw anything. You have to tilt this a bit higher. Now, with certain apps, you can actually customize the tilt curve so that you can draw those broad strokes even if you don't tilt the pen that low. If you enjoy drawing with tilt brushes and you use tilt brushes often, yeah, sure, you can consider this pen because the tilt performance is pretty good. However, there are third-party pens out there that have pretty similar performance as well, such as the Staedtler Norris Digital, the original version, and the Jumbo version. Both pens can tilt quite low for those broad strokes too, and those pens are noticeably more affordable compared to this. There is also the Wacom EMR pen, the Wacom 1, where you can tilt the pen very low too. That is also cheaper than this. So the good thing about Wacom EMR technology is there are so many pens out there that use this tech, so you can choose the pen that is more affordable and have the same performance. You don't have to buy the more expensive pen. There is also the Lamy EMR. I have reviewed all these pens on my channel before, so do check out all those reviews. So this tablet that I'm using does not have a matte screen protector. So the pen tip is actually quite smooth on the glass, and I'm already used to it, so that's fine. Okay, the tilt works really well. And you can get pressure and tilt to work together. Okay, so let me switch over to using the soft tip, the original S Pen with the soft tip. So the highlight here is you can draw very flexible, expressive lines because you can draw thin, thick, and broad. And you can get the dry brush effect too if you use, well, the dry brush. Okay, let me create a new layer and switch over to this. I can get the broad strokes as well, as you can see. For this pen, I cannot tilt much lower, but I mean, how low you want to tilt really depends on the line you want to draw. I can still get very expressive lines with this. Okay, let's get some tilt broad strokes. Yep. So with the Creator Edition, it's easier to tilt it low to get the broad strokes. But for this pen, I have to make a conscious effort to not tilt that low, because if you tilt too low, the broad strokes will not appear. Yeah. Okay. The Creator Edition is better. It's definitely better at producing the broader strokes. Yeah. So with this pen, there is a limit to how low you can tilt. This works, but there is a limit to how low you can tilt this pen. Alright, to conclude, is this worth the money? Is this worth US $99? I don't think so, especially when you compare it with other pens that also use the Wacom EMR technology, such as the Staedtler Norris Digital, which is less than US $40 at the time of review. And the difference between this versus that pen in terms of functionality is there's one side button here. And if you compare this with the Wacom One pen, which also has that side button, the advantage here is you have this flat side here that you can attach to the tablet. I guess this is convenient, but as to whether this is worth an extra US $40 to $50 more, you can decide. Alright, to conclude, this is a good pen, but it's quite pricey. However, if you use tilt brushes often, this is one you can consider. But as I mentioned earlier, there are more affordable options out there.